Thank you. We've got Kira now. Good morning, Kira.
Good morning.
Good morning. So this is about your son, and he's 6 years old. And what happens when he eats? Something quite unusual.
Well, his ears go like really, really red, especially his right ear, and they heat up, and they get really hot.
Okay, and he also gets like a rash, does he? Is it also on his cheeks and his legs and his arms also?
Yeah, recently, his past 4 weeks, he's had a rash, and it's come and went. I've been giving him antihistamines, which I thought was maybe working, but the rash, I've stopped the antihistamines now, and the rash is still coming and going.
Okay, all right, Ranj.
So this is quite interesting. So whenever you get a situation where you eat something and you get a rash, then you've automatically got to think about things like allergies or intolerances. And that, in those instances, keeping a food diary and seeing what is triggering you off is really, really important. Now, people who get redness or heat from around their face or ears when they eat, that can be quite normal, actually. Some people sweat a lot. We call it gustatory sweating, and it's a nerve response to your gut hormones after you eat, and that's completely harmless, and it usually just settles down of its own accord, or people live with it. Picking this one apart, the rash has actually been happening separately to this eating issue, so the rash is there all the time. And actually, the food thing may be a complete red herring. And speaking to Kira earlier, we found out that she's got autoimmune conditions in her family. So these are conditions like arthritis, where the immune system attacks the body and causes issues. And I wonder whether this could be a manifestation of something like that.
Oh, right.
It's either going to be that, in which case I would ask the GP to do some tests and possibly refer you to a rheumatologist to investigate that sort of thing. Or it could be a contact allergy. So if your little boy's been outside, I know he's got some rash on his knees there, and that might be in the space between the shorts and the football socks. So it could be that he's brushed against something. The hot ears, I think, is totally separate. I think that's a completely separate thing altogether. But this skin rash, I think, is different. Right. And it's either going to be a contact allergic thing where he's been running, brushed against something, and it's sensitised.
So if it stops at the sock and the short line, then it's more likely to be that.
If it's in exposed areas, that's usually a good clue that it's an environmental thing or it's a sun-related thing. But if it's in the covered areas too, then you've got to think more about systemic conditions. And I think speaking to your GP and getting those tests might be a good idea.
All right, Kira, good luck with that.